Hi, this is Justice. I guess in clothing that is more casual and informal on Friday, April 3, 2020. And as you can see, I have on my a dark blue Under Armour t-shirt and black black shorts, and I'm just in my room right now with a can of Sprite, and I am really just exasperated right now. Um, it's after 3 p.m. and my father just left in a white pickup truck to go somewhere, and I mean, before he left, he said some negative stuff to me, and I'm just going to tell you right now, my father always and only says the most negative and stupidest stuff that he can think of to me, and my mother and my two younger sisters don't really like him either. Um, so this is definitely not something that is specific or unique to me. And he just I stopped working at a McDonald's in Wesley Chapel 77 days ago, or 2 months and 17 days ago. And I I graduated from a high school in Florida in 2012, and then I graduated from a Bible college or Word of Life Bible Institute in 2015, and then ever since then I was basically just working, and I have worked as security for a lot at a lot of nightclubs or places in Florida, and then got I got a job at a McDonald's in Wesley Chapel on Friday, January 17, 2020, or that is when I began to work at that McDonald's, and I actually worked at another McDonald's beforehand in Tampa, close to a shopping mall or West Shore Plaza. But I really don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and I'm so tired of being around my black father from New York, because he always says the most negative and stupidest stuff that he can think of to me, and it's like that is his default mode, to just do and say stuff like that to me. And I guess I'm thankful that his lack of intelligence and morals did not result in anything that is like a felony or serious crime. I mean, I know that black people commit more crimes than any other race, and it is because they have the lowest intelligence and highest testosterone as I have said before. And then I think above them are Hispanics, and then uh, white people tend to not commit a lot of crimes. And then, um, as Jared Taylor said in that YouTube video that American Renaissance published to YouTube on April 3, 2019, East Asians have lower crime rates, lower illegitimacy rates, higher average IQs, and longer life expectancy. But they really are better or superior to white people in a lot of ways, and that is why I have thought of even having Asian children that are boys, because I think that men are better than women in a lot. They are emotionally and physically stronger than women. I think that is why you will see an interesting juxtaposition where there are white women that are basically like communists and leftists and race traitors, and they will even attack and demonize white men, as you can see in YouTube videos, such as a video that Paul Joseph Watson published to YouTube, where there is this young white woman that has brown hair, and she's saying that young white men that are right-wing extremists are more dangerous than Islamic terrorists. And then Paul Joseph Watson basically says that she's totally false in what she is saying, and that actually the reverse is true. And I totally agree with Paul Joseph Watson in basically everything that he says. And I really like his YouTube channel a lot. And then white men tend to be like the total opposite of white women. They are like, or at least young white men tend to be the total opposite, and they are a lot more conservative, and they really don't care about pandering or pedestalizing non-European and non-white people, and they are more willing to be rough and tough, I guess. I really like Russia a lot more than America, because it seems like they are also more rough and tough than Americans, and a lot of Americans are just soft and they're weak. You can read about stuff about in Russia, where I think there was this like gay pride event, and that basically went down in flames in Russia because they did not even, I guess, allow that or whatever. But and then a lot of people in America, and especially white people, they're like pro gay or pro LGBT, and as Sam Harris said in this YouTube video that Australian realist, and that is all one word, published to YouTube, um, entitled "Philosopher on the Taboo of Black on Black Violence." You basically just see a photo of Sam Harris, and then you can hear him talking in that video, and he's a Jewish atheist. I know that he was born in Los Angeles, California, and he was 26 years of age when I was born, and he's always about 26 years older than I am. And he was basically saying that the homophobia in the black community is off the charts, and I think that is because, at least when it comes to some things, black people are more mentally or psychologically tough, and they're like not willing to pander to homosexuals or whatever. They don't really care about giving satisfaction to them, and they have, everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, but I'm aware that if white people become extinct, as it's likely to happen in 300 or 200 years, as 41-year-old Ayla Stewart and 68-year-old Jared Taylor talked about on YouTube. This planet is going to hell because black and Hispanic people cannot create first world or successful societies like white and Asian people have. This is really not just my opinion. You can even look this up yourself. See, look at all the first world or successful countries and the third world or unsuccessful countries, and you will see exactly what I am talking about. And I really don't buy that any other excuses or whatever, like, my father has said to me many times, white people ran black and Hispanic countries into the ground or whatever, and that's why they are third world or unsuccessful. Really, I don't buy into this crap of blaming white people for everything that goes wrong for non-white people. I believe in Occam's razor, or that there is a saying in Latin, but in English it is entities should not be multiplied unnecessarily. That is basically saying that the simplest answer is most likely the right answer. And that the same thing goes with average differences among races and intelligence and temperament. There are many people, and I think the most popular explanation for why there are racial differences in intelligence is that it's culture or whatever environment they are in that makes them that way. And I have one word that will basically destroy that entire argument, and that is intelligence. And really, people who want to deny this have a dedication or a commitment to communism, leftism, Judaism, Satanism, and stupidity. Really, it's Jared Taylor. I mean, said this in a video that American Renaissance published to YouTube on Friday, May 8th, 2015, and he was 63 at that time. And he said that race and IQ is so simple and so obvious, and the evidence is everywhere. And I could not agree more with that statement. But if I publicly talk about this stuff, I'm a terrible person, or like the worst person ever, because I don't sacrifice everything on the altar of what is politically correct and socially acceptable. And there really is a nefarious or extremely immoral or wicked agenda behind saying nice sounding things like, oh, everyone is equal, or race is only skin deep or skin color. It's just stupid stuff like that the most people in this American society that are brainless and non-thinking say. And yeah, I decided to just talk as I am wearing casual clothing as opposed to unnecessarily getting somewhat dressed up in black shoes, black pants, and a black polo. Now I am wearing no shoes, black pants, and a blue t-shirt that is Under Armour, but I'm just talking about whatever's on my mind, and this is basically like a blog or a website or webpage that is in an informal or conversational style, basically. And I'm just talking about my life and whatever I have an interest in or whatever is on my mind. And yes, I really do want to have boys because, like I said before, I think men are better than women. I like Dick Masterson a lot. He's a proud chauvinist, and I actually found him on my phone on YouTube by searching for "men are better than women," and then I found Dick Masterson in a YouTube video where he is being interviewed by Dr. Phil, and he shows his amazing and somewhat cartoonish personality, or he's like, it is a really short video on YouTube, so I don't, but I like it, and I also like another YouTube video where he is being interviewed by this older blonde woman that I think is also associated with Dr. Phil, and but he doesn't appear in that video, and she's basically just asking him questions, and I like men are better than women.com. I think that is a site that Dick Masterson created, and for those of you that are going to say, or that are going to think that oh, it's so bad that I support male sexism or whatever. It's what I think that it's really bad that this society basically endorses or publicly supports female sexism, because women have a lot more power and more privileges than men have in this society. As I remember reading something on Facebook that said that women have are less likely to be homeless, less likely to be homicide victims and victims in war. They have a longer average lifespan, and they are less likely to commit suicide. And you know, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that they get less time in jail for the same crime that a man commits. So, oh yeah, it's so bad if I just talk about this stuff, and there is even a website for it. But like I said before, this society likes and supports female sexism. Make no mistake about it. Um, like I was banned from two places in Florida, such as Metropolitan Ministries and that mostly white non-denominational church in Wesley Chapel or Cypress Creek Church, just because I said some stuff, and that's it. I wasn't even directly or explicitly threatening anyone. I just said at Metropolitan Ministries that I thought about killing my father, and I definitely did not mean that in a literal sense because I have no desire whatsoever to physically hurt anyone. And I never ever plan on doing anything that is going to put me into a jail or prison. Um so I mean I said that, and now I can't even show up on that campus or whatever because I said that. And then they have determined beyond a shadow of a doubt because of that one thing that I said one day to a chef, Peter Bates, outside of that Metropolitan Ministries, that I'm a dangerous person, and that I cannot even be in close proximity or in the same physical space as everyone else there. But I go to a lot of other places, and no one thinks that I'm dangerous, and nothing happens. And I talked about Milan Henry, or her booking number is T6127792, and she's in jail because of 3 counts of first-degree murder. She sang as she smothered her 3 children to death under the age of 3, but I think that methamphetamines played a role in it. As I read that she had an addiction to methamphetamines, and murder is always evil and totally inexcusable, and it's a sin or a transgression of divine law, but so is drinking alcohol and smoking tobacco and cursing and taking God's name in vain, engaging in premarital intercourse, and engaging in promiscuity or extramarital intercourse, masturbation, watching pornography. I used to watch a lot of cyber porn on my phone that I am holding right now on Pornhub and YouTube. But then I stopped because I realized that it is Jewish trash, and I think that if a person wants to masturbate, that they should at least do so without watching porn, because that is total trash. And I'm aware that it will negatively affect your brain to where it triggers a release of chemicals, and then you will get used to whatever chemicals are released, and then your brain will need more shocking or surprising things in order to trigger a release of chemicals, and basically it's like there. I watched a video that Fight the New Drug published to YouTube about this, and they talk about what happens in the brain, and it's basically like hard drugs, and it really is like heroin or something like that, and it is not like this, harmless thing, masturbation, as most people are going to talk about it and think about it as. It really is best if you just follow Christian morality and you don't do whatever God says is a sin or transgression of divine law in Christianity. And that is, and I am a happy and proud virgin. I never ever had a girlfriend or wife before in my life, and I really don't even care if I ever have a girlfriend or wife, because a lot of women nowadays are messed up, and I care about having children, but I can have children by a sperm donor and surrogate mother, and I am interested in having children that are white, and they are boys that have blonde hair and blue eyes, or Asian boys, because I want to do what is best for everyone, and I want to continue to advance humanity, and I don't want to live a totally selfish life like my father has and is living right now. He really doesn't care about Christian morality, and I don't even think that most so-called Christians in America, or like 70% of people in America, even really care about Christian morality either. They just like to talk about Christianity or religious stuff, and that's it, But if you were to actually talk about that stuff to them, like, not drinking alcohol or smoking tobacco, cursing or swearing, or using a profane language, or using language like that, and other stuff, they would see that as, oh, that's just your, personal opinion or whatever. Because this society, that people, look, for most Christians in America, Jesus Christ is not their God. That is just that is just a person that they like to talk about. But their God is really the mainstream media and modern liberalism, and that is it. And that's the same God that everyone that goes to churches that are from mainstream Christianity worships. So I want nothing to do with it. There is some stuff that I like, as I mentioned this before. There is a Wretched, or a Christian show on national religious broadcasters, or on DirecTV, that is channel 378. And I like that show a lot, and I actually sent emails to that organization. And, stuff like that I like, but, the vast majority of churches in America that are from mainstream Christianity, I want nothing to do with. And I even like Christian identity, or identity Christianity, a lot more than this modern Christianity that is basically a dumpster fire. And I read about them on the Southern Poverty Law Center and Wikipedia, and a lot of what they said goes with my personal and political beliefs, so or whatever. So, um, like they uh believe that Anglo-Saxons or Europeans are Germanic or white people are the chosen people or God's literal Israel or Israelites. And then I remember reading under the Southern Poverty Law Center that Kingdom Identity Ministries is the largest supplier of uh, materials relating to Christian identity, and they hold that people of color are soulless subhumans, and Jews are satanic or cursed by God. And I don't think that they are talking about literally all people of color or Jews, but I know that stupid Christians that think that they're better than everyone else are going to read that and say, "Oh," like I even talked about this to a young white man named Spencer at exciting Ottawa Baptist Church or a mega church, and he was saying to me, "Oh, you're subhuman then, if that's true or whatever." I mean, that's not exactly what he said, but I remember him saying, "Oh, you're subhuman." He was basically after I talked to him about Christian identity or identity Christianity. Yeah, I know that it goes against his and most Christians' beliefs because Satanism and Judaism are the real religions of most people in America, or 70% of America that identifies as Christian. So, yeah, um I actually took out $40 in cash at this gas station, and then I sent that $40 as a money order along with 22 papers that I printed at a public library in Florida on Cross Creek Boulevard. I sent all that to Kingdom Identity Ministries in Arkansas, and then they actually sent me back some papers and two little or small books in an envelope that relate to identity Christianity, and I thought that was really interesting, and I actually got that and some Brain Force Plus in the mail on the same day, um, in this year or 2020, and I have 2 bottles of Brain Force in the kitchen downstairs right now, and I take 2 capsules every day because I actually see or see my brain health as special, or I really value it. Unlike most people in America, they really don't care about anything, and I imagine that a lot of them are like my father. He just lives a totally selfish life, and he doesn't care about Christian morality. Despite going to Christian churches every Sunday, and he even watches Christian stuff on his phone if he can't make it to Christian service in time. I have seen them do that before, but he's really like everyone else in America. There is widespread hypocrisy and stupidity in mainstream Christianity. And that's why I'm just tired of it. Um, I I like I like some things that are from that, but I also really like Christian identity or identity Christianity a lot. And like as I said before, they believe that Anglo Saxons or white people are the chosen people, and um, Jews are basically like Satan's descendants or children. And you know, I think that there are some people that are associated with that have committed some crimes or whatever. But like I said before, I have no desire whatsoever to physically hurt anyone, and I never ever plan on doing anything that is going to put me into a jail or prison. So, but I know that, me just being associated with that is just like a bad thing or whatever. You know how many people God has killed in the Christian Bible? Millions. And a lot of religious people themselves have killed a lot of people um, in wars and other things. So, and most uh, people in America, this mostly or overwhelmingly Christian nation, they self-identify as Christian. But I'm sure I'm going to hear. I have heard stupid things people have said, like, "Oh, if there are atheists or people that don't believe in a god or gods, and they have nothing to tell them what is right and wrong, so they're just going to commit whatever felony or serious crime they feel like." But I guarantee you that if you look at a lot of a lot of these criminals in jail, many of them, or if not most of them, are Christians or religious. So, um, but I'm a dangerous person because I talked about a 22-year-old white woman in a jail in Phoenix, in Arizona. She has blue eyes and brown hair. And I promise you that she's one of the most beautiful women that I've ever seen in my life. And I feel like she deserves a second chance. And as I said before, I have even began to listen to romantic songs that I don't normally listen to because of her. And I have even thought about marrying her in space. And I read on Wikipedia that a Russian man named Yuri and a Russian woman named Ekaterina married in space on August 10, 2003. I was 9, my father was 30, and my mother was 34 at that time. And they are the first couple to ever marry in space. I think that it would be really cool if I got married in space or whatever, but I probably don't have nearly enough money to ever do that. But like I said, I've always been really attracted to white and Asian women, and white and Asian women. But believe it or not, if such a woman enters a jail, she doesn't stop being beautiful or attractive to me. And I definitely don't agree with or condone whatever crime they have committed, but I really don't feel like I can help it if I fall for um, some women that are like that. Um, if I could have just sat down and explained myself to some people at that mostly white non-denominational church in Wesley Chapel that is 16 minutes away from this house, I would not be banned from there. But people nowadays are highly judgmental. They really like to jump to conclusions and then act as if they have omniscience or infinite knowledge about you over something that you said to them one day or something that you posted to Facebook that they then took out of context or whatever, and then they use that to determine that they don't want you in close proximity or in the same physical space as them. And it's amazing. I really don't do anything that I think most people in this satanic and Jewish controlled society are going to see as bad. I really try to be the best and most moral person that I can be, and I want to be the most logical and rational person that I can be. But oh my gosh, I just said something one day, and that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm a totally dangerous person. It's amazing and pathetic. You know, like I said before, no amount of apologies, no amount of nice words is going to change my mind. And um, most people from that church that I'm banned from as of Sunday, March 1, 2020, I really don't care about them. And I will say the most harsh and negative thing that I can think of. And I'm not going to make up anything. I'm just going to talk about reality or stuff that they said to me, as like I've talked about Lloyd, or a white man that has brown hair, and I met him on Sunday, September 1, 2019, at that non-denominational church in Wesley Chapel, and I read that Lloyd is a Welsh name that means gray, as I read on Nameberry or Nameberry.com. He sent me a text message at 2:10 p.m. on Sunday, September 1, 2019, and then I sent him a text message at 2:18 p.m. and then from there, it basically just descended into chaos because I don't agree with his totally liberal mindset. Despite anything that people say about conservatism or the Republican Party, it really doesn't matter if they don't care about or like European or white people. Really, I see right through it all, and I'm a lot more intelligent than most people in this society. And education does not always equal intelligence. You can. I remember reading something about that on Facebook. In this image, you can have a bachelor's degree and still be an idiot. So, and I as I said before, I really don't care about a girlfriend or wife. I mean, I'm open to it. I will talk to women and see what happens, but it's a win-win situation because you know if I actually do get a really beautiful white or Asian girlfriend that becomes my wife, then that is amazing. But if that also never happens and I am a single virgin up until I am 78, um, in 2071, that is also amazing. So, I really don't care anymore. And I actually feel bad, like I said before, for blonde women because I feel like they are especially vulnerable to sexual crimes and stuff like that. And also intellectually or mentally disabled women that are retarded are like, I remember reading an article from the New York Times entitled Rape and the Mentally Retarded. That is from July 25, 1993. And they talked about a retarded woman named Annette. And I know that Annette is a French name. She's a 41-year-old woman that a coworker drove to a house, but he stopped by a vacant parking lot, forcibly removed her clothing, and then raped her. And then she did not even know what the word rape meant at that time. And then so she cried about it, and then fell asleep, and then went to work the next day. And then she told a coworker at her job that a man urinated on her because she did not understand what rape was. So it later goes on in this article and talks about how a lot of these mentally disabled people are like perfect targets for sexual crimes and stuff like that because they don't even know or understand sexual intercourse. So, as that 41-year-old woman or Annette, and I also feel like they are especially vulnerable or perfect targets to people that cannot control their id in Freudian psychology, or the part of the psyche residing in the subconscious that is a source of instinctive impulses, and or people that cannot control their lust or sexual desires. I thankfully can, and it's really intelligent people that tend to have the most control over that, I think. As I said before, it's the stupidest people that care the most about sex, and they curse the most. I remember reading this quote on Stack Exchange by Spencer W. Kimball, and I really don't know about him or who he is, but I know that he said, "Profanity is the efforts of a feeble mind to forcibly express itself." And I could not agree more with that statement, and I know that most people in this depraved and immoral society are going to try and argue the opposite, that no, it's cursing that shows it. It's like it shows that intelligence or whatever. But yeah, I really don't like to curse, and it's a sin or transgression of divine law, and yet most so-called Christians in America curse a lot, and even at churches that I have been to in person. So I'm really tired of these Christians, because they are a lot of them are really like like people that have an IQ of 70, which indicates mental retardation. And I really don't know what my IQ is, but it's likely that it's like 115 or something like that. I'm aware that a lot of Jews tend to have an IQ that is 115, and they are the smartest people on this planet, or they are, um, there are, as I said before, average differences among races in intelligence and temperament. And this is even something that Sam Harris, or a left-wing Jewish atheist and neuroscientist, has talked about on and it's in a YouTube video that anyone can watch over and over again. Where he talks about how because of human evolution, there has to be racial differences in intelligence, and he doesn't really go into details or specifics, but what he says, just science, and it's really just pathetic that it's not politically correct or socially acceptable to talk about nowadays. No, you just have to say that it's just culture or whatever that influences intelligence, or no, I'm just talking about stereotypes, and that's it. But dude, I embrace reality and everything that Jared Taylor and Richard Spencer has ever said, pretty much. I don't. I'm probably not going to agree with everything that they have ever said, because they're human. They mess up sometimes, but yeah. And I like alternative rights or alt-rights and white nationalists organizations and people, and I like them on YouTube, or like I am subscribed to YouTube channels that are associated with such movements. So I think that is it for now. This is Justice on Friday, April 3, 2020, signing off.